Well, hi everybody. Welcome back to my channel. I have a little bit of a different setup going right now, and I am excited about it. I hope that it gets a little bit more interesting the way that I'm showing you things. But today in our Blue Diary, which is Moinetta up in New Brunswick, Canada, we are going to do a deeper dive into the month of January. We already read her January diary entries, and there's so many questions and so many interesting things that we learned about her. I found out some, not just me, but we found out some things about Moinetta. She likes bread and jelly, although we're not sure what kind of jelly. Her mother is still alive at this point, and she stays at home a lot. She's very spicy and funny and entertaining. Also, the people that she talked to or interacted the most with, I counted that up. So in the month of January, she mostly spoke to, in this order, Mrs. Fraser, Gertrude, Mrs. Cogswell, Mrs. Hopkins, Varna and Verma, Ida and Burl, and Frances. So now I wanted to show you guys some really cool details about Moinetta's January entries. So let us go and look. Here we are. We're just live on my laptop here. So I wanted to show you the house that she lives in, or lived in. But during January of 1953, she lived on Cameron Street. And this, way over here, can you see it? That is where she lived. And I'm sure it didn't look much different than it does today. But there are houses here in front, and then there are a row of houses back here. So it's very interesting. I'm not sure who she lived with at this time. We haven't 100% figured that out. But also her mother must have lived in one of these homes, because she would walk over food, or her daughter, who I believe is her daughter Gertrude. Anyway, this is what her little neighborhood looked like. So I would love to know, do you see this little spot right here? This is a building, and obviously it's a building. Duh. But I'm wondering if she talked about going up to Franklin Square and some other places, and I'm just wondering if this building was there during that time or not. So anyway, that's the first thing. I thought it was really neat to see her where she lived. That's really the best view I have of it. So anyway, let's check out the next page. So she talked about, let's hope it goes to the right page. She talked about listening to Billy Graham on the radio, right? And I wanted to tell you, in case you didn't know who he was, I guess at some point near the second part of his life, he was rather controversial. However, at this point, this is what it says. William Franklin Graham Jr. was an American evangelist and an ordained Southern Baptist minister who became well known internationally in the late 1940s. He was a prominent evangelical Christian figure and was, according to a biographer, among the most influential Christian leaders of the 20th century. End quote. I'm getting this information, obviously, off of Wikipedia, the free encyclopedia. So you can go on if you want to learn a little bit more about him. But it does go on, to talk about the crusades that he did. And I'm really not going to get into that. That's something, if you're interested in, you can go to many sites. There's actually a Billy Graham entire website that they run, and you can get lots of information. But basically they were called crusades. And so that was one of when he went to South Korea, he had to get permission from the United States government in order to go there. So he went there and preached. So I thought that was pretty interesting. And this is what you look like. I don't know why he has that pose. I'm not really sure. Anyway, let's go to the next one. Let's see. What was the next thing? Okay, so remember how Moinetta went on the train ride with, was it Hannah? And she got where they were going, and Hannah had like 6 bags, and she was looking everywhere for red caps. Well, at this website, www.jstor.org, you can read all about the early organization of red caps. And the actual beginnings of the red caps are shrouded in mystery. This article was written by Patricia Romero, research assistant to the director of the ASNLH. And basically, people would get off the trains and say like, hey porter, but it was so busy. The legend has it that the very first red cap had a red piece of fabric or scarf or whatever, and he tied it to his black hat to be more visible. So the legend has it that he earned a lot of tips that day. So that was the beginning of red caps, and you can learn all about what that person's name was and all about the beginnings from 1937 to 1938. And of course, our story starts in 1953, so red caps had been around for quite a long time at that point, but it is pretty interesting. And I'm wondering if they have a picture. They do not, but you can imagine what a red cap looks like. So I encourage you to check this out. And you know, all of this is not my information. This is things that you can find on the internet yourself. So then remember that somebody came to Gertrude and Moinetta's and brought Gertrude an electric clock. So remember, they don't have a television in their home, so they would probably have been, Gertrude would have been excited to have an electric clock in her home. And here are some 1950s electric clocks. So here's a really neat one. Let me see if I can get this larger. Wow, isn't that cool? Let's see if we can find another one. This one right here. This is a 1950s atomic clock that somebody has listed or had listed on eBay. Fellow eBay reseller here. That's really neat. Let's see, what else? Ooh, look at this pretty blue one. Mid-century. Maybe it's green. Let's see, what else? What else do they have? This yellow one. Wow. So if you were, this is a 1950s General Electric clock radio advertisement. World's most useful radio. Lulls you to sleep. Wakes you to music. Tells the time in the dark. Automatic electronic servant. Turns appliances on and off. More GE clock radios in use than all other makes combined. Wow. How cool. I just thought it was interesting to see, you know, what they look like. I'm not going to click on these because I don't really know. That does look mid-century, doesn't it? Hold on. It has that. I didn't want to do that. Well, we're there, so we're going to look at it. So it has that mid-century look to it with the stars and whatnot. All right, so what's the next thing? The pronunciation of the province in Canada where she lived. It's spelled Moncton. So I don't know if you know this, but you can go to google.com and type in like, how do you say, and whatever word that is. So here it is. Ready?
Moncton.
Did you hear that? Let's try it a few more times.
Moncton.
Moncton. Moncton. Moncton.
Moncton.
Listen, it may not be that exciting for you guys, but when I was trying to pronounce this, I'm like, Moncton? It's like trying to say Worcestershire sauce. Worcestershire sauce. It just doesn't work that way. So there you go. She lived in Moncton, New Brunswick, Canada. All right. I hope you guys are enjoying this. This is sort of fun. I like finding a little bit of history. So I wanted to show you a map of Moncton. And right here is Moncton. And I was going to show you where I just showed you the house that she lived. So we have a park right here, Victoria Park, and she actually lived right on this street, right here. Right there, somewhere in there. So I wonder if this park was there back in the day. We might have to find that out, and maybe we'll hear her talking about that. But it looks like there's a lake. We have a river. I'm wondering where the hospitals were, because those do come into effect at some point. So we got the Moncton Hospital over here, which isn't too far. Here's her home, Moncton Hospital. I would imagine that one is probably the original hospital in the area. I personally, with some basic research, I couldn't find that information out. But here it says Moncton is a city in southeastern New Brunswick, Canada. Let's see. What does it have? The restored 1920s Capitol Theater hosts concerts. To the northwest, Magnetic Hill seems to defy logic and at its base causes cars to roll uphill. The Magnetic Hill Zoo inhabitants include lions and zebras. So let's see. Let's see if it'll let us look. This is a current photograph that someone took, and I can't blow it up and make it larger, but this is part of Moncton right here. Let me go over here and see if they have any. Oh, that looks pretty. All the ducks. Oh, look at that. All right. It looks like a really quaint place to go visit. All right, so now I wanted to look up Eaton's, because I believe in January Moinetta went to Eaton's department store to get some fresh or switch out a pair of stockings. And so Eaton's was the T. Eaton Company Limited, later known as Eaton's. It was a Canadian department store chain that was once Canada's largest and was founded in 1869 in Toronto by Timothy Eaton. He was an immigrant from what is now Northern Ireland. So they did eventually go out of business in 2002. I think Sears took it over. But I believe, here's the story of the Eaton's. This is Eaton's Annex in Toronto, so it's not quite what I was looking for. I was looking for the Moncton one. But, wow. You know, shopping in a department store back in the day was so much different than what it is now. And like department stores and malls are going, they're empty. Not necessarily all of them, obviously, but anyway. Okay, what do we have next? Okay, she talked about somebody brought a brick of ice cream. Now, a brick of ice cream is basically what we call a carton of ice cream these days. But I found this really neat vintage ad, and I don't know what brand of ice cream that she had, but let's look at it. This was an ad for Wall's Ice Cream, more than a treat, a food. Take your choice from these 4 natural flavors of Wall's ice cream. Special double size party brick. Neapolitan. So look at that. You just slice that puppy up. What does it say? Mother knows when she plans her meals how Wall's vanilla brick appeals. Oh my goodness. Dad says the coffee brick's a winner. He has it often with his dinner. Oh, a coffee ice cream. Anne loves strawberry brick for tea. Excellent choice, don't you agree? Pardon me. I'm so sorry to yawn. It's midnight, but it's fine. And then a chocolate brick with sundae sweet for Tom makes dinner time complete. Let's see. I would have just been like, where's the vanilla? Oops. I don't know what's pulling up. Okay, so that was fun. So then okay, that was on Pinterest. If it'll stop doing it. All right, then we had the celebrity or the radio personality come and visit for quite a while and had a great visit with Moinetta and Gertrude. I'm going to pause this for a second because I have an allergy right now and my eye is burning. So hold on one second, guys. Okay, I am back. Okay, so Uncle Elmer came to visit and he was the radio personality. And I found an article on him. So this is Uncle Elmer right here. And he worked for station WEEI. And it was, he had his weekly circle, Uncle Elmer's Song Circle, has been broadcasting on WEEI each Sunday at 8:30 a.m. During the week, the members of the circle work at their respective jobs, but still find time to visit neighboring churches to assist at fundraising events and call on shut-ins who need their help. So I found this, I Googled Uncle Elmer's Song Circle, and it came up to this information, and it's www.otrr.org, and it sort of looked like this. It has like just lots of news, okay? So we found that, and looks like he started it back in 1932. Singing while they work. Okay, then here is Uncle Elmer's Song Circle, and he is directing this group of singers here. And I think that's it. Look at this advertisement. How pretty. So Uncle Elmer did a lot of good work. All right, then I believe I found him here. And this was found at Digital Commonwealth, Massachusetts Collections Online, digitalcommonwealth.org. And their article written for the Boston Public Library by Richard Merrill Collection. And the headline says, Man, possibly Uncle Elmer at WEEI microphone. So here is a better photograph of Uncle Elmer, who we don't know what year this was taken, so looks like the collar's getting a little wider, maybe the late 50s. I don't know, I'm not that big into fashion, but he looks like a nice fella. Look at that cool microphone. And dated 1930 to 1965, so I guess they don't really know exactly when it was. All right. So this was copyrighted by Richard Merrill. This is not my work. None of it is. I give all credits to those that we're talking about. Just trying to cover my bases. What else do we find? Lexicon. Now we're going to know what lexicon is. It is a card game. And the card game, each card had different letters on it, okay? So I wanted to pull this up, which you cannot see. That's the problem sometimes. There's a newer version of lexicon. But I guess each letter has a different point. You know, sort of like a Scrabble type of situation. Very interesting. So, just in the month of January, they played lexicon at least, what, 4 times? So, we're probably going to see it again in February. All right. Now, here we are. Remember when they were had the lady at their home? The way it read was that there was a lady at the home, and she was what did she write? She looked grand and noble. Well, no, it wasn't at their home. It was on TV because they were watching. They had already gone over to their friend's house and watched the inauguration of President Dwight D. Eisenhower. And then they came home and had tea or lunch or whatnot. And then they went back. Pardon me. Oh, so rude. So rude. I want to get this recorded so that we can get it uploaded to you guys. Anyway, then they watched the inaugural ball. And remember, after they watched that Moinetta was like, it was all really about nothing. It didn't turn out to be the best thing she had ever seen, in my own words. But here is, and only for a second, at www.cspan.org, what President Dwight D. Eisenhower's voice sounded like. He is doing the oath of office.
Thank you to the cable and satellite companies who provide C-SPAN to viewers as a public service.
In freedom for all and justice.
Okay, I'm going to fast forward. So,
Richard M. Nixon
you actually have Richard Nixon.
Of the people in this throng. And their
okay, that's a prayer.
The second to do so while America watched.
Oh, he already said it. Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to find it.
No inaugural challenge. And their fellow citizens
okay,
everywhere.
He must have... this is working out great.
Right. We're kissing Mrs. Eisenhower. This is a thrilling moment. To all the crowd.
Yeah, the president goes next.
Before I begin, a little private prayer of my and beseeching.
It's a prayer.
Pray. All the people, those who...
I just want to find... Look at all the people.
My fellow citizens, forces of good and evil, are masked and...
That's all I'm going to play because I do not... I'm not monetized. My videos are not monetized, but I don't want this to get flagged or anything like that. Anyway, I encourage you to go to cspan.org and pull it up. But remember, they were talking about how grand and noble that Mamie looked. Mamie is Eisenhower's wife's name. So let's check it out. I just Googled it. And here is, so here they all are. And a bunch of people. Actually, I don't even know who that is. Let's go. Wow, I'm doing great, aren't I? Here is, let's get a color photograph right here. This one. Looks like a beautiful pinkish, it's a horrible quality. I don't know why the computer's doing that. It might have something to do with all the tabs I have open, but it looks like a really pretty dress. She has, you know, gloves from the shoulder down. Now, okay, this is the official portrait, okay? And this portrait, oh, that turned out really nice. This portrait, I wrote a note, was made by Thomas Stevens. He was the official portrait maker. So I think that, there's the dress. I think that Moinetta wasn't all that impressed. Not that she didn't like it, but she was just like, okay. So, interesting. There we go. Next, Sunshine Bakeries. So Sunshine Bakeries, I went to wikipedia.org, and they used to be called the Loose Wiles Biscuit Company, and then they became Sunshine Biscuits, and then they became Sunshine Bakery. But here is their little logo, a little baker guy. And I'm sure all of us, I mean, I know for sure I've seen this guy. You know what I'm talking about? They were purchased by Keebler Company in '96, and then they were purchased by Kellogg's Company in 2000. And let's see. At the time of its purchase by Keebler, Sunshine Biscuits was the third largest cookie baker in the United States, which is pretty interesting. So yeah, that's where she would go to the Sunshine Bakery to get, I believe she went and got bread there one time, or maybe she got cookies. I don't know. I don't remember. Do you guys remember? Okay. Oh, that was the same thing. Okay, let me just go to the next one. I only have a few more tabs and then we'll be done. Okay, I don't know why that popped up. Let's get rid of that. We don't want junk. Sunshine Biscuit. Oh, so I just thought it would be fun. What was one of the #1 hits of 1953? And I didn't know you can go by month. So for January, the top 40 hit was Perry Cuomo's Don't Let the Stars Get in Your Eyes. Now, I had never heard this song, but if any of you remember, you write it down there. You remember Como. Is it Cuomo or Como? Perry Como. I'm thinking of Lake Como in Italy. Yeah, different name. Okay, so I believe I have a very short clip of that song. Very short. Ready? I need to fast forward it. Dang it. Here we go. Is he gonna start actually singing? Here we go. Ready?
Don't let the stars get in your eyes.
Okay, right? That's all I'm gonna play because I don't want to get in trouble. But that was pretty cool. See how this story has come alive. I love it. And I hope you guys do too. And remember, in our last video for January, somebody's wrist was getting better. And I was like, oh, I wonder if Ida's wrist was getting better. And I was like, is that who broke her wrist? And it was Ida that broke her wrist. So I'm just looking at my notes and seeing if there was anything else. I think that's it. So we have finished our January wrap up, and I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I hope that this new type of video is helpful, and I know it's weird looking right there. I'm not sure if I can actually make this larger, but it's just easier for me to make this type of video where you can see my laptop screen, and we can it's just fast. It's the fastest way I can make this type of video. So that is what has taken me so long to get this video out, is trying to find the proper app that I can use to get it going. So let me just double check and make sure, because I do have some notes. So when I drop this video, I'm going to drop the very first video for February. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I had made this, which you guys can't see, made this little thing, and it shows Moinetta in the middle and all of her friends that she deals with and talks to and has a life with. Anyway, I've talked too long. I don't even know how long this video is, but thank you so much for coming. And if you watched it, this is your first time here, let me know and consider subscribing, because the next video you're going to get is the beginning of February, and depending on how quick the video goes, it might only be in 2 parts. So, yay! Thank you so much. Bye!